Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ignite 2021. I'm Aleem Rayani, General Manager for Microsoft Compliance and Privacy. I'm very excited to share that we recently announced the general availability of privacy management for Microsoft 365. With privacy management, we're operationalizing how customers manage privacy today and are helping them build privacy-resilient workplaces. Organizations are generating more personal data than ever before, as their employees fluidly transition between work and personal devices and networks. At the same time, the number of data breaches is increasing exponentially. There were over 800 data breaches just in the first half of this year, which is 3/4 of the total for the entire of 2020. To protect consumer data from being compromised by increasingly sophisticated breaches, legislatures around the world are introducing new privacy regulations. 129 out of 194 countries already have some sort of legislation to protect personal data and privacy rights. A recent study predicted that by 2023, 65% of the world's population will have its information covered under modern privacy regulations, up from just 10% today. Privacy is an area that not only impacts every organization and business across the globe, but it also touches each one of us, people like you and me who are working with private data in the course of our daily lives. To maintain and grow customer trust, organizations need to make privacy integral to their business operations. At Microsoft, we're all about building a trusted cloud and want our customers, you all, to deliver solutions that your customers can trust. In my conversations with customers, 3 key challenges have emerged. The first is, most organizations struggle to identify and effectively manage personal data in their environments. They still use spreadsheets, emails, and in-person communication for data mapping. Second, once they find the data using these manual processes, they lack the context around use of that data and visibility into the associated risks. They often don't know what actions to take to mitigate those risks. And lastly, the need for a solution that can help automate and manage response to subject rights requests at scale and save resources and time. Just about 1% of organizations today use an automated process to respond to subject rights requests, commonly known as data subject requests. With privacy management, we're delivering a modern way to manage privacy requirements. And that means helping organizations discover personal data automatically instead of using surveys and spreadsheets, and providing visibility into those associated risks around that data. Helping them with actions that they can take to mitigate critical privacy risks, such as oversharing, data hoarding, and transferring data across borders. Additionally, we're helping customers detect conflict issues like legal or confidentiality holds when responding to subject rights requests. And last, helping organizations take a proactive approach to privacy and build a privacy-resilient workplace. This means educating end users, like you and me, on potential risks associated with handling private data and empowering everyone to make informed data handling decisions. Now that we understand the challenges, I want to invite Casey over to walk you through the solution. Casey?
Thank you so much, Aleem. There is a lot that I would like to share today, but since we're limited on time, I'm going to focus on the 3 areas that you just addressed in terms of customer challenges. Visualizations that help to identify privacy risks, actions that help employees to make smart data handling decisions, and the automation of subject rights requests. So let's take a look at the product. What we're seeing here is the overview dashboard. As an admin, you get a comprehensive view into your organization's privacy posture. You can see how much personal data, for example, social security numbers, credit cards, addresses, things like that exist within the Microsoft 365 environment, as well as where that data lives and how it moves. This view has been really eye-opening for our customers. Just being able to see the amount of personal data in the environment is something that they just didn't have visibility into before. From there, you can drill down to inspect these documents. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So here, I'm able to dig in deeper into the granular details. I can tailor this view to my needs using the filters up above. Say I'm interested in data that is open to external access. I can choose the appropriate access level of public and external, and now my view is updated to show the data in the environment that has external access. We know that this is really of great importance to our customers. You will see that the content owners are anonymized to maintain their privacy. Of course, with the right set of privileges, for example, a global admin, you can view the content using the Content Explorer, but we really leave it to organizations to decide who should have that level of access. So going back to the overview page, you can see key trends around volume of personal data, policy matches, and the associated risks, such as inactive or overexposed data. And as you scroll further, you can see recent trends for things like subject rights requests, which is something we're going to cover in a few minutes. The dashboard provides admins with in-depth visibility into their data estate, which helps them stay informed on the personal data trends and reduces blind spots. The data profile page provides a simple view where admins can easily see the type and volume of personal data, where the data is stored, and a breakdown of personal data by geography. From here, they can drill down into the details using Content Explorer that we're all familiar with. Now that I've walked through a bit of the admin experience, let's see how admins can use the solution to help empower employees to make smart data handling decisions. So here, the tile in red is showing that there are privacy risks within the organization. Out of the box, there are 3 different categories of privacy risks that make up this number. The first risk is data minimization. This is really all about identifying content that both contains personal data and is not used for a long period of time. This can create a larger risk surface area than may be required for business operations. The second risk is associated with content containing personal data that may be overshared or open. We call this data overexposure. Last, personal data that is being transferred across boundaries. These boundaries can be departmental, such as HR data being transferred to marketing, or data that's being transferred across regional or geographical boundaries, which we know is very important in the privacy space. The solution runs these 3 policies by default and makes it easy for the admin to drill down into any risk, inspect the content that's posing the risk, and take remediation action. Here we see that we have a high severity alert notification that personal data is being moved from the UK to APAC. You can easily investigate this risk and quickly see details such as the number of matches, the policy type, and the actual content matches. You can then choose to remediate the issue right from the dashboard, either by revoking all access, deleting the document, or applying the appropriate label to the document. Even better, to enable remediation at scale, you can choose to notify the file owners and let them take the appropriate action. Here you see that the solution has highlighted the personal data in these files, making it easy to understand why the content was flagged and why the alert was issued. So far, what we have seen is a demonstration of a reactive approach to handling privacy risks. Now let's take a look at a more proactive approach to privacy management. Here in the tenant, you can see that user notifications have not been enabled. You see this banner up here at the top, which lets us know that you can empower employees to address these risks. With just a few clicks, you're able to set up notifications for end users to help them remediate risks for all of the data that they own. So switching gears here to the user view, let's see how this manifests for individuals within the organization. Here, we are seeing Bob from the UK trying to send personal information to his colleague Sam Davies in APAC. We see that Teams actually blocks this data transfer in the moment. Bob also sees a pop-up educating him on the reason that the message was blocked and why this is risky behavior. If there's a strong business case for Bob to send this data, he can do so by providing business justification. So now Bob knows exactly what kind of privacy risk his action could have caused, and he's being trained in the moment. Research shows that this type of training is what sticks and drives behavior change over time. Now, coming back to the admin view, I'm able to review the data to understand if my policy is actually working. From this view, I can see if users in my organization are actually taking the suggested actions. Over time, we'd like to see the number of actions taken improve, which would indicate that the training and the policies are actually working. What we just saw was the IW experience for data transfer risks. Now, let's take a look at the data overexposure policy and how that works, which is somewhat similar. Here you see that the data owner has received an email digest containing files that might have access beyond their necessary reach. The data owner can take actions directly from within Outlook to choose either to restrict the access by making the file private or by choosing to keep the file as is, but providing a business justification. The digest also provides training links specific to this risk that help educate users in the moment. In this example, we see how to use a combination of technology and human insights to address data minimization. This is very similar to the experience for data overexposure. In this case, the end user can choose to tag the file for delete or keep it as is with business justification. For those handling personal data, this is a way to remind users that they should both delete unnecessary data and to ensure that only the right people have access to that data. Now that we've seen how these policies manifest, let's take a quick look to see how easy it is for admins to set up and customize these policies that help identify these risks. There are 3 default policy templates that admins can set up with just a few clicks. We also have custom policy types that allow admins to customize for their particular environment. There are hundreds of customization options, but I want to call out a few key features. The ability to scope any policy to a specific location, as you see here. The ability to customize the frequency of notifications. And my personal favorite is the option to add customized training links that lead users directly to content that already exists within the organization. And lastly, being able to select when you want to be alerted of a match. Now that you've seen how admins can use insights to empower employees to make really smart data handling decisions, let's take a look at a very important aspect of privacy management, data subject rights requests. The solution helps admins to automate and manage these requests at scale. Let's dive in. Admins can create a subject rights request with just a few clicks. Here, I am entering Akira's name, email, and relationship as a Contoso customer. I can then scope my search and add advanced queries and additional personal attributes such as a nickname, address, or conditions such as a time limit or a particular type of content. And also we can add location. After fine-tuning the search query, I can add a few more details like request type and if the request is related to a specific regulation such as GDPR. I then provide the name and description for the request and it's created. It's that simple. Once created, you can see a list of all of the subject rights requests and subject rights trends within the organization. Clicking into this request for Akira, I get an overview of what's already been done, and I can see what actions need to be taken next. I can also see flagged items which contain commingled data from other people or potentially have confidential information included in them. These typically require review to determine if you want to either include these in the export or to redact that information. Right from the admin view, you see the inline content review experience. You can see why these items are flagged for review. And in this example, they contain personal data from multiple people. That content is automatically highlighted to make that review very simple and easy to do from the dashboard. From here, you can use built-in redaction capabilities. Power Automate templates help you integrate this process with others. You can set calendar reminders, track progress in ServiceNow, or take custom actions on the flagged files. We've also built in a programmatic API that allows customers to use their homegrown applications or ISV applications to enable a unified response to subject rights requests. And that completes my demo for today. I'm really excited about privacy management and how it will help our customers to automate privacy operations and scale through empowering their own employees. And with that, I want to welcome Kelly Clay from GlaxoSmithKline to share her perspective. We thank them for their partnership on the privacy management solution, and we're excited to hear their perspective. Over to you, Aleem.
Thank you, Casey, for walking us through the solution. And welcome, Kelly. So glad you're able to join us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here and chat with you.
And what are some of the top challenges you face?
So as Global eDiscovery Council, Director of Legal Technology Strategy, and Head of Information Governance at GlaxoSmithKline, privacy lives in the top of my mind, really. The changing regulations, the amount of data that is flowing, the changes in the way we work, the changes in how the business wants legal to work and how they work in general means that privacy comes up every second. Are we being compliant with the new regulations? What are the new regulations? How are we protecting our patients? How are we protecting each other? Where is the data? What kind of data is it? So these are just a few of the things that we're thinking about. At the same time, we're thinking about how do we simplify the way we work? How do we deliver faster? How do we have our clients doing more self-service instead of having multiple layers of support for them. So, I think you can tell, especially in the healthcare industry and in the e-discovery industry in general, if no matter which company you're at, you're thinking about privacy all the time.
Now, you've been a design partner for our privacy management solution. I know that requires a significant time commitment from you and your team, and thank you for doing that, by the way. Could you speak to why you decided to partner with Microsoft on this product?
It was my pleasure to partner with Microsoft in this instance. Microsoft has been a great partner of ours, and actually in other groups I've been with as well. And if you don't invest time together with your partners, you're not going to be able to grow, to innovate, and to succeed, right? And we had this opportunity to influence some products that are going to mean the world to all companies and to people in general. How to protect privacy, how to comply with privacy, how to make it easier to be self-sufficient or do self-service around knowing where your data is, knowing where it's traveling. So I felt like it was a good investment of our time. Even though we were going through a lot and our workloads were quite high, I was able to rally support from different groups and different businesses within the company to help design modules that we may or may not use immediately, but can help everyone and can continue to grow. Also looking very much and very invested in limiting the platforms that are used in technology and for our data. The less you have to do as far as moving the data, the better. Knowing what you have, the transparency of what your workflows are with certain security levels, it's very important, I think, for how we all do our work.
Yeah, and many customers and even end customers and patients like myself will benefit from you really investing in this process and helping to build, like you said, a solution that can help protect privacy ultimately. Now, how do you see privacy management helping you, and what are the capabilities that you're most excited about?
Long-term privacy management is going to help us limit the amount of touches to the data and the amount of places where the data may have to move. And it will continue to bring awareness to the different aspects of privacy throughout the company and throughout other companies. And I think there's a comfort in knowing that others that are on O365 have the capability to manage their privacy in the same way, and that we can invest together to continue to perfect the product. We have a huge amount of pressure to simplify the way we work, to automate the way we work, to provide self-service solutions. I see privacy management opening the door for that, especially around subject access requests and just other regulations that are coming out that may or may not be access requests, but are for the consumer asking where their data is, or for the worker actually wanting to know where their personal data sits within the company. So I see it as enabling us to work faster and better, and to provide that automated self-service product to our clients and to the business. Really the business is driving everything these days, as it always has, but in a different way. The business is partnering with its functions to work together. We're partnering with our preferred partners, such as Microsoft. So we're all working towards the same goal, to do it better, faster, and keeping up with the ever-changing privacy regulations.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I just wanted to say again, thank you for the partnership with GlaxoSmithKline, and thanks for your time today sharing your insights with customers.
Sure. Thank you. And thanks for all that you guys do for us as well.
I hope that provided you a sneak peek into privacy management and how you can use the solution to meet your organization's privacy needs. Privacy management is generally available, and you can try the solution for free. All you need is a Microsoft 365 or an Office 365 subscription to get started. So go to aka.ms/tryprivacymanagement to start your trial today. Thank you for joining, and don't forget to check out our on-demand session where I walk through the solution in more detail. Enjoy the rest of Microsoft Ignite.
We've experienced some major changes in the last year, especially in the workforce. We moved to hybrid environments. We've moved to remote environments. We've learned to enjoy content on a variety of different platforms, and that includes Microsoft Ignite.
Hi, I'm Jessica Feku, Security Product Marketing Manager here at Microsoft.
We just watched Microsoft's Compliance and Privacy General Manager, Aleem Rayani, lay out the steps that you can take to ensure privacy is a part of your overall risk assessment strategy. If you have any questions about the products, the news, or announcements that you've heard today, check out the Connection Zone, where you can connect with any of our subject matter experts in an Ask the Expert session. If you missed any of today's sessions, they're available on demand. Check out aka.ms/msignite21_security/on-demand. We want to hear from you. Share your feedback with us by participating in a product roundtable. Be sure to stay up to date with all of the latest news and announcements surrounding Microsoft security by visiting www.microsoft.com/security, or follow us on social at MSFT Security on Twitter or Microsoft Security on LinkedIn. If you've enjoyed these sessions, be sure to join us tomorrow for an action-packed agenda on day 2 of Microsoft Ignite. We kick off the morning with the industry's leading cybersecurity experts in Into Focus Security, and then we take a deeper dive into the future of security with thought leadership breakout sessions. You won't want to miss this. Stay tuned for what's ahead and enjoy the rest of Microsoft Ignite.